Many thanks for still sticking with us as the conversation is about to get started. And while I was introducing and talking about you being a part of the King's Church community, some esteemed individuals also joined. And I'd like to say a very big thank you to Henry Jude, Igwesi, NNWZ2, who joined the group, and also to Sankey Praise. He's saying, hello, wonderful family. I am honored to be here. Thank you. We are honored to have you. And so you can be a part of them. Again, scan the QR code just by the corner of the screen, and we can get the conversation started today. Now, guess what? Today on set with me, I have, yes, my amiable team members, and we're going to be having a great conversation. And I'll start off by introducing to you the other lady in the room, like myself, who came out looking beautiful, glorious, you know, and all of that. Talking about Lillian King. Hello, pretty.
Hey.
You look amazing.
Hello. Thank you.
What's the
Exciting.
Yes,
what's the excitement, or what's that thing? What's happening?
You know, there's always something. There's always something. We're going to address it today.
Oh, that's what the excitement is all about.
That is it. Yes,
Okay.
I want. Let's not. I don't want to take the cat out of the bag
Okay.
this time. So go ahead.
All right, thank you for joining the show this evening. And right next to her, I mean, she's in the middle of two men, so I'll start off by introducing the one next to me, talking about Wale. Good evening. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, Mary. It's good to be here once again.
Right, it's good to have you. And directly opposite me is, yes, talking about Gbenga. Gbenga, good evening. Welcome to the show. Olu Gbenga, yes.
Thank you.
Welcome
it's
to
great
the
to
show.
be here. Thank you. Good evening.
Right. All right, so today we want to look at this conversation, and I got this, I mean, this person is asking a question, and of course, I'm very certain that those of you here on set with me and our viewers out there would be willing to, I mean, share this conversation with us. This person is talking about a situation that happened in his family, and I'm just going to summarize it. So he said there was a function that his family attended, and in that function, his mother openly disrespected his wife at that gathering, and the wife had to walk out of that place in tears. Now, he didn't know if he was to defend his wife publicly or smooth things over with his mother behind the scene. And so that brings us to the question of marriage versus family. Who comes first when in-laws cross the line? I want to start with you, Wale. This is, I mean, you're a man. Imagine you went for a function with your wife and this happened. What would be your first reaction?
Thank you once again.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone, where you're connecting from. First thing first, my wife first priority in any situation. So I would prioritize our feelings and also how the matter is around her.
Okay.
So at that point, I wouldn't want to know what led to what. The first obligation I have is to ensure that she's in the right place.
You wouldn't want to know what led to what.
Nah,
what if your mother is in danger? What if, I mean, it could have been a lot more complicated than this.
Yeah,
Would you just, is that sentiment, is it from a place of, okay, because she's my wife, so you don't care about learning from the other party what happened?
The matter already escalated.
Okay.
So I'm not interested in what led to what at that time.
Okay.
What I'm interested more is their emotions at that time to stabilize it. And I think the one I'm first obligated to is that of my wife.
So would you have defended your wife publicly?
I wouldn't defend anybody at that time.
Okay,
So
at that
what-
instance.
At that instance.
All right, let's pause on that. Lillian, let's say you are the wife in this situation and this happened. How would you expect your husband to react? And how would you handle your mother-in-law in that situation as well?
In that situation, I think you said she was in tears and she walked out of the room. That's the best thing she can do. She's not suspected to retaliate or say anything. The embarrassment has happened, so all she needs to do is walk out of the room. So in my opinion, that's the best way to handle it.
I mean,
So,
some ladies won't opt for that. You
But
openly disrespect me in front of my husband, in front of
every other
people.
person. Yeah,
And
there are ladies like that, but that will not be that's not the right
that's not
way
going to be the
handle it.
best way to handle it. All right,
That's the
Gbenga,
wrong way to
let me
handle
come to you.
All right. So if my wife is being disrespected by my mom in the public, and then she reacts by crying right?
Well, she stepped out, yeah.
She stepped away. Thank God she has stepped away already. So I think I'll go with Wale. I probably would not do anything at that instance. But you know, there is usually a longer relationship between mothers and their sons, you know. So it's not certainly going to be a problem if the relationship is smooth enough, you know, to straighten the matter out. So I probably would have to wait until that scenario is over, then, mommy, wait till happen, you know. Then we can talk to ourselves.
Yeah.
And of course, I also know how to pacify my wife and bring her back on track.
Okay. So we all know that a lot of times it looks like, oh, it's either a yes or no, or you know, either white or black, but sometimes, you know, it could be gray and whatever colors that comes in between. And we've seen cases where matters like this that are as simple as you are saying it escalates so badly and a lot of things happens in between. Now, and I also know that we are used to our family, right? We, for the longest time, we're with them. We know the in and out of our parents. We know what tickles their fancy or what not. But at the same time, you're not married to this person. You're learning this person as well. To an extent, you should know, okay, what tickles this person's fancy and all of those things. Now, when it comes to marriage and family and talking about in-laws and, of course, them crossing the line, we know that in-laws could also extend to maybe the husband's brother, the husband's sister, or the wife's brother, no, the siblings, as it were. And we've also seen cases where you have to put up with living with your in-laws at that point.
Yeah.
You know, how do you navigate that kind of relationship? In a sense that this person comes with their own peculiarities. This man is used to his mother's wisdom or his mother's advice, and for him, for the longest time, has saved him, so to speak. How do you get to deal with somebody who may not necessarily listen to you as his spouse because he respects whatever his parents has to say over you? Lillian?
In that scenario, it's very difficult, though. But I think most times what will save you will be minimal words. Don't use too much words to express yourself. You expect your husband to understand you to an extent. But when you are trying to bring that point, try to be calm and don't expect magic. It's going to take a while for changes. That's mostly for the new couple. I'm just saying for that. Then for older couples, of course, we already know how to handle them. And when they start the shenanigans, you just give them space, let them express themselves. But what you want to do is in your mind. Then you will not go and tell your husband that, I understand the scenario. You don't really have to. The thing you must not do is change words with in-laws. That's
Okay, you're saying that. Now, I want us to look at it this way. An intrusive in-law, for instance.
okay.
Okay, because in this situation, she spoke to her daughter-in-law publicly, rudely. Maybe she must have said something like, you know, something demeaning.
Yeah.
And this is something that's happened over time. And she must have seen that, okay, this is recurring, and I think I'm in a public space. And then she was brought to tears. Because I don't want to believe that that was just the first
time
it's happening, and then she had to cry and all that. Maybe it was the first time she would have made an excuse or shrugged it off, and that would have been fine. But that, whatever comment her mother-in-law would have made to cause her to tear up, I want to believe that was really deep and personal. In that kind of situation, and you say, okay, no, you just brush it up and all those things, and maybe it has been happening for a while. How do you think it should be handled? Because now I'm talking about the daughter-in-law now to the mother-in-law, and the mother-in-law to the daughter-in-law. From the mother-in-law perspective.
From the mother-in-law perspective, I think she needs to be called and counseled. I would say counsel because the husband is actually the place of the son. To call the mom and say, Mom, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like that. Please change from this and that and that. And it will get to a point, in many instances that I've seen, it gets to a point the mother is refusing and the son is in line with what the mother is doing. And it's very wrong, but he's holding his ground, the mom is supporting, and what they are doing is wrong. Okay, look this instant. I have kids, my husband traveled, it gave my sister-in-law money to go and give my children in school, and I don't know. And my children are in school, and they call me, and your mother-in-law sent someone to bring money to the children, knowing that their father is not around. And I'm like, no, I refused. And I said, the person should not give them, the child the money.
Okay.
They should not allow the person to come into the school. And the mother-in-law gets angry. And you tell the husband, and the husband says, why would you do that? And it's my mom. It's my mom that sent the person. And there's rancor, very heavy rancor. And you're like, why didn't they call me? I'm around. I'm the mother. I have the right to know that kind of scenario. So allowing such things to go on is just, I think you have to go away from mommy and husband now, knowing that two of them are not looking, they are not seeing things in your life.
Okay.
Talk to someone else that can talk to your husband. And there must be somebody that he listens to, although there are some men that don't have anybody they listen to. The wife will tell you that, who will I tell to help me talk to him? There are men like that. But then you go to pastor. Okay, pastor will now give you counsel on how to handle it. In some cases, happily, the mother might be going to the same church with the lady. Then the pastor will now call mommy and say, Mommy, Joe, Shebai. But if in the case where the girl, in fact, is a very serious ground, but there you have to look for a way.
Do you want to say something to that?
Okay, yes. I think to every relationship, whether to the mother or to your wife, there needs to be a set boundary. So your mom, no matter how connected or how attached you are to her, you have to have the boundaries on ground. And immediately she crosses the boundary, you can reprimand her. You can correct her.
Wow. How can a son
Yes.
reprimand or correct his mother?
Very well.
Okay.
You can correct someone without disrespecting someone.
All right.
So as long as the respect is there, you can effectively correct someone. So that means you bring them back. They are trying to wade off the path. So you bring them back, you're already crossing the line. So you can effectively do that when you keep the respect in and you communicate with love. And for your wife, no matter what wrong your wife committed, you should not, this is my opinion, don't correct your wife in front of your mom, your father, or your siblings.
Okay.
You should have a separate place where you now correct her and reprimand her. In fact, that scenario could have even been caused by her. And the mom reacted based on past, experiences, and she just busted and just forgotten that they are outside. So the wife could have caused that. Now, the man, having investigated the whole issue, would definitely have to correct the wife, but not in front of the mom.
Lupin, I want to ask you, when we talk about in-laws conversation, why do we constantly experience this recurring decimal of mother-in-laws, daughter-in-laws fracas?
I think it's a very big challenge, especially in Africa. And it is because we refuse to understand. There is culture and there is tradition in Africa, that separates the families from the other. And just because many of us, even though we live in the same community, a family is actually a community, if you understand that. So in my house, there are set rules. There are things that we do that is normal to us. I want to believe that we can reduce some of these hitches if there is a process to the marriage. So I'm dating. From the dating time, the lady is being indoctrinated into the family culture. So most times, because people are careful, they don't want to go through that indoctrination process, especially in modern day marriages now. People just, my in-law, there's already something about the mindset where in-law is concerned. People don't want to, they are my in-law. So. But it should be family, and we are actually going to do life together. And you also have to know that this person, you cannot separate him from this. In fact, I believe it is wrong. I believe it is unfair, for a man to be married to a woman and be completely separated from his house, from his family.
Okay.
So that means it is that man's responsibility, especially when the dating process is on, to look for a way to bring the wife or the supposed to-be wife into the family to become a part and parcel of it. So you have siblings, you have a mother, and then you ensure that they have a relationship. And if in that process you are experiencing hiccups, then there is something that is fundamentally wrong. Then you must prepare for a lifetime of problems in that marriage, which means that it is non-negotiable that the family, that the man must find a way, no matter the differences, to bring the person that he intends to marry into his family.
Yes.
You know, after all, in Africa, when you are getting married, they don't hand over a daughter, especially from the south, where we come from, where I come from. They don't hand over the child to the man per se. They hand the daughter over to the parents of that man. So it is to say that these are your new family. So it's not supposed to be a case of your daughter, your wife, and my son. No. It's supposed to be my daughter. When the daughter comes into that family, she's supposed to become a member of the family. So the process that leads to that is before the marriage itself. Of course, they will learn themselves, they will hurt themselves in the process, but if that mutual understanding and agreement exists before the marriage ceremony starts, then it is most likely that when they get into it, you know, they will just be able to patch up and manage whatever differences come in the process.
We've seen cases where, talking about learning themselves, we've seen cases where the man, for instance, would say, okay, so because I need you to learn my family and all that, you move into, maybe my mother would move in with us, or you move into that family and then stay for a while. And then you see a lot of friction because it's all about, I'm trying to learn the family I'm marrying into. But do you think that's the best way, or is it supposed to come with time? As, you know, the marriage progresses, the years go by, you're beginning to understand your in-laws, or it has to be immediate, you know, you having to be faced with them. We've had situations where we have in-laws stay with their new daughter-in-laws and in-law and stay for years that way, and there's already friction in the home because I'm trying to understand the man I married, and I'm also trying to understand his mother. So should it come in that terrain, or it should be given time? Let me ask you.
Well, the problem with accessibility is that it breeds see-finish.
Okay.
So,
accessibility from
anywhere.
From anywhere, okay.
Yes, especially when the wife-to-be start living with the family-to-be. Of course, you can visit, but I personally, one of the things I do not like is disrespect. And I wouldn't want anyone to disrespect my wife. So if my wife, if you have too much access to her, you can be, you're not even friends with my wife to say, but you can get to know her, you can get to be close to her, but don't have access like that.
Isn't that setting her up for problems?
No, it's not setting a problem.
Okay.
No, she'll be friendly with them. She'll be a family with them, all right? Just like there are certain assets, even though we have an earthly father, there are things that you know you don't have access to. For example, you can't step on his bed and be sleeping on his bed. That is not possible. Yeah. So there are limitations to access. So exposing your wife at the early stage, very early, is quite, it's a setup kind of. But you can gradually, you can go on a picnic with the family members. You can, other avenues are created to bond. Do you understand? You can have a picnic with your family members, you can meet somewhere, but living with them is, for me, I don't know, I might be wrong, but I think is the excess. So to get your family bonded with your wife, just make them know that your wife is a friend to them, and they can visit, and at the same time, they can reach her, but you have to measure the accessibility. So they don't be see-finished, because once see-finish comes into something.
Lillian, what's your take on this?
You see that see-finish? It's just, it happens that it will always come, it's always about the husband when it comes to the wife. Whether there's going to be disrespect, it's still the husband, because everything is just the way the husband handles the home, handles the marriage, handles the wife. So a lot of things is about the husband. You know, the Bible says, submit to your husband. That submit is very important for a wife to submit to the husband. The wife is expected to submit. I am repeating it because it is important for us to know that that is the part we are to play as wives. Okay, now, talking about the role of the family, it's disturbing when we see family not giving the young couple the place to know themselves is disturbing, really. You know, when you already know that these guys are married. Everything we are discussing today, I have all of them. Just very early in my marriage, my sister-in-law moved in with me, and she just finished her youth corp, and she wants to come and stay for 3 months. Then she will leave. She stayed for 11 years. Oh. Yes, it was not a very interesting experience, so I will not I'm not recommending it to anybody. Don't do it. It's not okay. It's not good. The reason it happened was because my husband allowed it, and he insisted. So I have no say because I am a submissive wife. So I want you to know that.
So how did you navigate that relationship with your sister-in-law?
Exactly. So now what I do is this. I know Auntie is at home. I started giving birth. She was there when I gave birth to my children, and she was, because she's Auntie and our family were Yoruba. So there is this Auntie, and you cannot call her by her name. She's older than you, even while you are older than her. You know, you have to treat her like she's the mother of the house.
Wow.
A lot. So you have to treat her in a certain way. You have to make sure she eats, make sure she's okay. Wow. But take notes. Because we are in Christ Embassy together, I actually brought her to church.
Okay.
She's now a staff in church, so everything is rosy. But note that it took a lot, but I learned a lot in the process. And you have to let this person be. You already know that she's a lady also. Mm-hmm. She's herself. She's finding herself from school. She was working. She goes to work and come back. If I have the privilege to cook for her to eat, I will do that. But the part where you cannot tell her what the part to play is a challenge. There is a lot of challenge around the arrangement.
Yeah.
But because wisdom is profitable to direct, it was, thank God, I survived it. And I'm here today.
Wow.
And I still have good relationship with her.
Glory to God.
Okay.
Glory.
I mean, that's really fantastic. Now, there's also the conversation of, when it comes to direct family and all that, who is meant to be the one to set the boundaries? Is it, let's say, your wife, because maybe she has faced a lot with your in-laws, and then she's having to speak out her mind to say, this, I don't want this, I don't want that, setting the boundaries to the supposed offender, who could be a mother-in-law or sister-in-law? Or is it the man that should be the one to set the boundary? Also, in the case of the wife's family, should it be the husband trying to set boundaries with his in-laws, or the direct blood, that's the wife?
Okay. So where boundaries is concerned, I believe a lot in what happens before the marriage. There are conversations that should be on the table while we are dating, while we have decided that we are going to go on this journey together. So, for example, the conversation about in-law is one of the most important conversations after finance, after, it's one of the most important conversations because it will happen. It must happen. You both have families and you love them, And to think that you have been with these people for 30-something, 20-something years of your life before this other person you now are bringing in, it's quite, especially if you grow up in a family where there is love, where there is unity, and they defend, there are families where they defend each other no matter what. And for me, it's a matter that should be addressed. So we have standing rules, and we stay by those rules.
Who is setting the rules?
Both of us.
Okay.
Yes,
all right, please hold your thoughts. We have a call. Hello, good evening. Welcome to The Angles. Hello. All right, please do well to call us. And with that, I say the phone lines are open and you can join the conversation. We're talking about marriage versus family. Where do you draw the lines when it comes to dealing with your in-laws? And your opinion is very much appreciated. Please go ahead.
All right. So it should be an affair off before the marriage.
All right, please hold on. Okay, the call is back. Good evening. Welcome to The Angles.
Hello?
Yes, good evening to you, sir.
Hello? Yes, good evening to you, sir. Yes, good evening.
Please go ahead.
A wonderful topic you're treating today on The Angle.
Thank you.
I met you when you were asking who draws the line or who sets boundaries.
Right.
So for me, I would say the husband sets the boundaries. It is his responsibility. It is his duty. And let's not forget that the Bible says two shall become one, right? So to answer the topic, I think for the husband, this is a family, two people that have agreed to live together as one, and they have gone into this contract of marriage or the marriage institution, as it were. They come first. For the woman, the husband should come first. For the man, the woman should come first before family. Nevertheless, the family's role is equally important. Well, not equally important, also important, because the man you married or the woman you married is not a single tree. It's not just a tree on its own. Came from somewhere, do you understand? Belongs to a family, has a mother, has a father, has siblings, and it would be unfair to say because you are married, therefore, nobody matters, only your husband matters. No, you can't live in isolation, that kind of isolation. And remember, we live in our own society. Let's not westernize things too much, you understand? Our society, we belong to extended families. There is no way, just like Lillian was saying, she had to go through that, but it shouldn't be a problem, really. If I believe she understands, she's also a Yoruba person, so she understands the cultural background of the guy that or the man that she married. Those things are already written. You came in and you met them. They didn't formulate them when you got married. But maybe, probably, you didn't look at that. It was something you didn't really consider until it was before you. So I understand that kind of feeling. But you see, it is difficult for us to say, but when I got married, I was advised I must live in a certain kind of apartment. I must not have my siblings living with me because, and there's a reason, so that, they don't bring in confusion between the couples. But again, how far can we take that instruction? Because you come from a family, you have a younger, some of us are, the first son, you have to, it becomes your responsibility, either on paper or by whatever means. You have to take care of your younger ones. If your parents can't, cater for you, everybody, all fingers are not equal. Everybody's not the same. And it's not, every marriage can never be the same also. So these are the things I think we should look at. You have to understand that you make adjustments for your husband and your husband make adjustments for you. Look at the set, in context of where we come from. You understand? I understand that in the West, when they are married, they can, for what they care, they can even decide, I want to marry you. You want to marry me? Let's go and get married. The parents are not aware. So it's allowed for them, it's allowed. But you can't, in Africa, you can't go and get married without the parents, without
consent.
The woman's family. Sure. That marriage is null and void. Because the court will also come into play in that. So that's my contribution. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Ifeanyi, for that contribution. The phone lines are open, and you can also join the King's Chat community where you drop your response. All you have to do is to scan the QR code right on your screen right now, and you would be a part of the community. And Regina Akoni just joined the group. Welcome, Regina. And we have Mani Udo, who says, my family is my first priority. My in-laws are secondary. Well, we're going to leave you with this excerpt from our dear man of God, which is a perfect way to summarize this conversation, because watching our man of God teach us on those things was an eye-opener, and it's something that you should learn watching this. But before we go, Olufunmilayo Fagbon also joined the Kingshire community. Please do well to join us, scan the QR code and be a part of it. But this is where we have to draw the curtain. We'll leave you with this excerpt. Many thanks for watching the angles this evening. And thank you for coming on set. Until we see you again, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Your mother-in-law came to visit. Because your husband has not been a respectful son, doesn't have much respect for his mom, you also join your disrespectful husband to disrespect your mother-in-law. Will God accept such a thing? No. Since you knew that your mother-in-law will be coming, even if you didn't know and she suddenly appeared, you have to treat her with respect. Don't join your husband to fight his mother. There's a curse. If you join, you will now inherit the curse along with your children. That's not a good thing. Don't let it happen to you.